Hello students, welcome to your English class. In the poetry section, let us learn the poem A Girl Called Golden, written by the poet David Batson. Know about the poet David Batson? He was an Australian poet and a photographer too. His period of living was from 1921 to 1998. Poet was well known among the network of children's authors and illustrators who met at the Journalists Club at Sydney. So the poet concentrated more on writing books for children. Besides writing poems for children, David was interested in ocean theatre and photography. He was not only a writer but also a play. He was a theatre artist and also he was interested in photography. He has published children's poems in numerous magazines and has anthologies of his own. He not only has published children's poems and in numerous magazines but also has his own collection, anthologies as collections of his own poems. An introduction to the poem. The present poem is in the form of an ode. What exactly is an ode? Ode means a poem written in praise of some person, praising the talent or quality of a person. Here it is written on Betty Cuthbert, by name Elizabeth Cuthbert, who was an Australian athlete. In this poem, the Australian athlete praise on her is written here. She is being praised in this poem. She was a great sprinter and had won 3 gold medals at the 1956 Olympic Games in Melbourne. She added a 4th gold medal at the 1964 Olympics in Tokyo. So with all these achievements, the poet praises Betty Cuthbert in the poem The Girl Called Golden. About the new words that you come across in this poem. Sprint, to run or go very fast for a short distance. Coach, a person who teaches and trains an athlete or any kind of performer. Spurred is encouraged to try harder to achieve something. Spells, period of time. Heed, to pay careful attention. Glory is fame, praise or honor. Achieves a goal. Let us see. Time slipped away, then came the Olympics, still in your teens, but spurred on by the cheers, glory at last, as you gained your gold medals, a time to remember the rest of your years. So here time slipped away, time moved away, she got trained by herself. Then came the Olympics, still in your teens, she was still in the teenage, but spurred on by the cheers, but encouraged by others to try harder to achieve something. That came the glory at last. Final was a success as you gained your gold medals. She had won the gold medals in the Olympics. And a time to remember the rest of your years, says the poet. See, when you achieve, when you make a name for yourself, then you are remembered by the world or the people for the rest of your life or the rest of your years. So the poet here praises Betty Cuthbert for her achievement, for the strain, for the struggle she does, and final goal, what she achieves by winning the gold medals in the Olympics. That is the message the poem gives through the poem A Girl Called Golden. Through efforts, anybody can achieve anything, and that the success of Betty Cuthbert is praised here through this poem. What made Betty famous? Let us see in this stanza. Time slipped away, then came the Olympics. Still in your teens, but spurred on by the cheers. Glory at last, as you gained your gold medals. A time to remember the rest of your years, says the poet. So time moved on with all the practice. Finally comes the Olympics. She is still in her teenage, but spurred on by the cheers, appreciated by others. She moves on and finds a glory at last. As you gained your gold medals, where is her glory going up? By gaining the gold medals. A time to remember the rest of your years, say the poet. Once you achieve success, it is for the lifetime, right? Success you need to, once you achieve, it keeps on moving in the same way. So you need to maintain that. So in the same way, After all the efforts, she wins a medal, and that is a time to remember to the rest of your years, says the poet. So, this poem is written in praise of Betty Cuthbert, an athlete.